What's going on, you guys? This is Trent here at Rexburg Motorsports, here to do a machine overview with you. Now, about a week ago, we did a short look at this 2021 Husqvarna 701 Enduro. Today, we're going to go over this thing and give it a full overview. This bike is awesome. If you're looking to jump into the adventure bike segment, there is not a better bike out there than the Enduro 701. Let's jump into this thing. Alright, you guys, so let's start off with the engine and with the powertrain. So this right here has got a 693cc single cylinder motor. You've got an 80 millimeter stroke and a 105 millimeter bore. So you've got a bigger bore than you do the stroke, and so this thing is set up to rev fast and to have a lot of torque. It's a single overhead cam motor, and you know, the Husqvarna, when they were making this motor, KTM2, they were really looking to get as much power out of as small of a package as they possibly could with this 701. Now, this motor at 8,000 RPMs makes 74 horsepower. That's a very, very strong motor, and I'll tell you, riding this bike, it's got a very, very linear power spread, and it makes tons of power. You can tell right off the bat that this thing is a potent motor, but the control is so well that it's going to build your confidence as you're out on those long rides. Now, to kind of tailor that power to you, they've also got two different drive modes on this machine. Now, before we jump into those drive modes, this is a drive-by-wire throttle setup, and so it's electronic. So with that being electronic, Husqvarna can really tailor the power differently depending on the two modes. Without just, you know, like on a motocross bike, they can tailor this by changing just the fuel mapping and the ignition timing. On this one, it's changing wheel slip angle, wheelie control, throttle control, as well as, you know, those same two, the fuel mapping and ignition timing. Now, they set up mode 1 to be street focused. So it's got a more aggressive throttle response. It's got a little more traction control, and it's got more wheelie control. So this thing is going to be set up on mode 1 to really tackle the streets and to give you that fun. Now, mode 2, they tailor towards off-road accessibility. So it's actually got a little bit less throttle response. It's smoother to help you maintain that traction on the dirt and stuff like that. But then it's got less traction control, less wheelie control, so that you can pop your front end up over logs and roots and rocks, as well as get this rear end to kick out around corners and stuff like that a little bit easier. Now, both of those modes, they've got that traction control set up, but you can turn it off. It is defeatable. So you can turn the traction control off if you want, be it on the street in mode 1 or on the dirt, mode 2. And then you've got all the control just right there at your throttle. This is an awesome, awesome power plant. And again, with these two modes, this is a very dynamic machine. It is so well tailored to both on-road and off-road because of this. Now, all this power is going through a 6-speed manual transmission, and you get the Magera hydraulic clutch with this. Super smooth, super easy pull. It's an awesome, awesome clutch setup. Now, this clutch setup is with a slipper clutch, and what the slipper clutch is used for on this bike is the slipper clutch is made so that as you're decelerating, as you chop the throttle, this is going to have less engine braking. Again, this is a big old single cylinder motor. They don't want that thing when you chop the throttle to really just like try to stop. So that slipper clutch helps the clutch pack slip a little bit in those situations so that you've got a nice smooth deceleration feel too. This 6-speed transmission is great. The gear ratios are perfect, giving you several gears to pick from in each situation, but then also giving you a great spread as far as speed goes. Husqvarna with this 701 and this 6-speed are saying that this thing is to average roughly right around the 60 miles per gallon mark. So again, you're going to be going a long ways on this machine. Another thing that they throw at this bike is this is a chain drive, and it comes standard with an X-ring sealed chain. So you've got that X-ring chain. It's going to keep the dirt and stuff out of the links, making sure that you're getting a long life out of this chain. It's an awesome, awesome setup. All right, you guys, so when it comes to the chassis on this Enduro 701, Husqvarna did a great job of making sure this rider triangle was set up perfectly to give you a nice, comfortable feel for those long rides. You're not hunched over, you're not too far back. It's a nice, relaxed feeling. You've got plenty of space in between this seat and this foot peg to make sure that your legs are nice and comfortable on those long rides. And this thing does have a seat height of about 36.2 inches. So 36.2 inches, this thing is low enough to be nice and manageable, but then, you know, still be able to be high enough to give you enough ground clearance with this big motor underneath you. Now, with the overall weight of this machine, without fuel, Husqvarna puts this at 322 pounds. So, with that weight, it's going to be nice and manageable off-road. It's not too awfully light, but it's going to be light enough to move around and put right where you want it on the trails. But then, it's got enough weight on it to make it stable on the roads. So you're not going to be super affected by, you know, cars you're passing or being passed by, as well as a crosswind. The weight helps it stay a little bit more stable, as well as this low center of gravity. This chromoly frame that they've got here does a great job of making sure to put the motor and the overall weight low on the chassis. So it's very nimble. It feels a lot lighter than that 322 pounds even indicates. Although that being said, it is quite light for an adventure bike. Now, with this overall chassis layout, they do put the fuel tank in the back. It's set up right here to be part of the subframe, and with this you've got a 3.4 gallon fuel tank. So again, getting roughly 60 miles per gallon, you're going to go quite a ways on that 3.4 gallon fuel tank. This is an awesome, awesome setup, and up here on the dash you've got a fuel light and stuff like that to make sure you don't go too far without running out of gas. Now you've got Brembo brakes front and rear with a 300 millimeter rotor up front and a 240 millimeter rotor out back. This Husqvarna comes standard with WP suspension components front and rear. You've got tons of travel to make sure that your ride comfort is good on those choppy trails that you're going to be hitting on this thing, to make sure that you can get everywhere that you want in comfort. Front and rear, you've got 250 millimeters of travel, so roughly just shy of 10 inches. So it's an awesome, awesome suspension setup. Going to give you that comfort that you're looking for on those long rides. Now you do have 10.6 inches of ground clearance to make sure that you're getting over those rocks and logs as well. So this is going to be a great bike, ready for the adventures that you're looking for. Husqvarna did a phenomenal job with this 701. I hope you guys enjoyed this walk around, and hopefully we answered all the questions that you were looking for on this 701 Enduro. If you do have any other questions, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to try to help answer any other questions that we can for you. If you do want to come check out one of these 701s for yourself, come on in. We've got a couple in stock, and we would love to talk to you more about these machines. Thanks again for watching this video, and if you would, consider hitting that subscribe button. We would love to keep you up to date on all of the things that we've got coming out here at Rexburg Motorsports. But again, thanks for watching, and have a great day.